Yeah.
It'd be like that.
I
These
know how it
children with this
goes.
technology. We're good now. They should be able to hear us. So you got to see us, the introduction, and
Yeah.
Killah Priest from the Wu-Tang Clan just come out with a new
Yes.
album. New album.
Yes. Rocket to Nebula, and I got another one coming. But we'll hit up the Rocket to Nebula. This is a new album that I just dropped, and I got another one coming on the 8th. So I've been really busy, and I have another one coming out after that with True Master. This one that's coming out on the 8th is called Third Eye in Technicolor. The Third Eye in Technicolor is done solely with the producer from God's Wrath, Jordan Riverbanks, and he did all the beats on there, all the production, and it was over a course of six years. So some real vintage Killah Priest and some eye opening stuff in there
That's
for
what's
real
up.
hip hop heads. So
That's what's up.
it's classic. I really like it. I don't like to always call my own stuff, but it's really good though. From what I've heard, can't wait
For
for
sure.
the master.
And so the Rockets and Nebula album, did AD produce that?
AD did most of the he did most of the mastering, and he did a lot of what's the name. I kind of produced a lot of the Rockets and Nebula
Wow.
with my man with my man damn, shit. Should have said unknown source. So it was me. Let me see. Okay. Me and Ruler Y from Texas. Me Ruler Y, and basically that was it. I'm the unknown source. Yeah.
That's what's up. Um, Talk a little bit about the podcast, man. I know you're busy with that. It's something consistent that you're doing. You having fun with that?
And I'm loving it, man. Every time it just goes up another notch, another level. I mean, sometimes even three levels. And I like that to engage because a lot of people never heard me really talk.
Yeah.
I was always this mystic, you know what I mean? Like, but I can talk. I have a voice, you know what I'm saying? They only heard me on music, and in the earlier years and stuff, they never really get to hear me talk, and just and they always ask me the same questions, you know what I mean? Like in an interview. And so now this give me a good platform just to go in.
Yeah. You
For
giving the
my
fans
classes.
a chance to know you and go deep with
Yeah,
you. And
yeah,
I think they're complementary one to another. I found with my music and stuff, like I have the audience who just listens to the music, and that's a big portion of the audience. Now
right,
there's probably an even bigger audience who know who I am because of the podcast, and they get
man.
introduced to the music later. And then even those who listen to the music, they get introduced to the podcast, and I'm explaining lyrics and philosophies and mysticism and stuff that I talk about in the music on the podcast, and so they kind of go hand in hand, right?
Yes, that's the way to go, man. I think with this new age movement and this podcast and then the thing is you have a beautiful platform and AD is the one who set up this platform and made it
Yeah,
the way it looks now, and I'm grateful to have him,
yeah,
and we've been rolling together for years now. So it's like he hooked this up. He does the mastering with the music. He stopped mixing. He used to mix and stuff like that, but he just concentrate on mastering and putting studios together. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Podcasts and things like that, and the audio and visual.
yeah. He's doing a hell of a job. Shout out to AD. Um,
Thank you.
he's got
Thank
you
you.
looking good, sounding
Thank you.
good, and it's a lot of
Yeah.
work that goes into the back end of this stuff, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of work, man, that everybody don't know about. And plus, we build on a spiritual level also. He's
Yeah,
into he's really into the flat earth and stuff. He doesn't like to talk about that type of stuff, but yeah, no, he doesn't like to talk about that stuff as much. But he's into astrology.
yeah. What about you, Priest? You in the flat Earth? There's a lot of people into it.
No. I'm not. I'm opening up to it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because of AD and Santos, and
Yeah.
you know, they showed me the reason why,
Yeah.
and so I'm open up a little bit, but I'm not totally against it. So
Yeah,
you know
for
what I mean?
sure.
I'll just roll. I roll. If the Earth is flat, then it's flat. You know what I
It's
mean?
one of those things that, like, if even if you did believe in it, you can't really talk about it
Yeah,
because you're gonna lose
basically.
so many people.
And
You know.
the scary part is like the more you get into it, like how AD explained it, the more you try to prove it, you end up going deeper into the rabbit hole. And it's like, oh, okay, that's a circle. If I say it's a circle, the Earth is a circle, then it just tilt it to the side and say, yeah, it's a circle with a dome over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a disc. You know what I mean? Well,
Yeah.
I know one thing that we suspended, and we suspended in the galaxy though. We are in space.
Yeah, that kind of, like, the whole flat Earth stuff really undoes a lot of our UFOs and alien kind of stuff, or planets even.
Oh, then it's round then.
Because with the flat Earth, they tell you that space isn't real, and so, you know.
What?
Yeah, that's
How
the
is
thing.
space
So
not
we,
real?
so
This
if we
is
talk
space
about
right now. Yeah.
exactly, we talk about looking at the heavens and the sun and the moon and planets and stars and all that. You know, there's so many different theories about those being, like, man-made lights in the sky, or something that's even through water. There's a bunch of crazy theories, and I know AD wants to even jump in as we're talking about this. He's
Oh
getting
man,
fired up.
he's standing out. He had to almost leave, man. You know, he's over there by the kitchen, man. He's like, man, I want to get involved with that, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff too. They have to prove and they have to show and prove. Everything is done and works, and you have to show and prove. Remember that scripture I pulled out was kind of cold in Isaiah. I think it was Isaiah, the earth circle. Was that Isaiah 60 something? Something like that.
Circle of the Earth.
Yeah. You got that one?
Isaiah 40:22.
Yeah, Isaiah. Yeah.
Who sits enthroned above the circle of the earth,
Woo!
and its people are like grasshoppers. He stretches out the heavens like a canopy and spreads
There
them
you
out
go.
like a tent to live in.
Not the flat of the earth, but the circle. Just had to tell that. Look, he's over there stirring up the universe. Now he said it's like a pizza. It's a circle. See, that's what they do. You know what I mean? Flat earthers with a dome. Yeah.
Hey man,
So
they're a
they
powerful
said,
force
like-
to have behind you, though, Priest. You
Yeah,
know?
they're cool. Yeah, I roll with it. It's almost like they got the earth like that. You remember the game Trouble? Like a pop up the bubble?
Yeah.
So it's like a dome. It's almost like where Superman come from.
Yep.
So therefore, you know, Superman's from the Crystal City. I wear a lot of crystal. And what's crazy is that Superman comes from he's already an alien,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he comes from the Crystal City. I don't know what kind of crystal he comes from, but that created a Superman. So in the galaxy, there's these type of minerals and stuff that could you know, go into your energies, and you can share frequencies with it that will give you some type of energy like that in that round circle.
Yeah. So when we're talking about crystals and stuff like that, do you feel a connection with different like jewelry and gems and crystals that you wear?
Definitely, man. Yeah, definitely. That amethyst is good for the mind, and but you gotta open yourself up to those levels. You know, they work, and it's just like with exercise. You got to continuously adorn yourself and get into that vibe. And you know, the ephod with the priest of
Yes,
Israel wore the different stones that were in there, and each of them represent. Even in the house, in the 12 chakras, there's stones, and the 12 the 12 houses of Israel.
That's deep. I spoke about it in my book, talking about the ephod and how it would change the vibration of the priest when you got all these crystals and you put them together and you put them on the ephod, this breastplate that would put, you know, the vibration of the priest in this realm where they can speak to Yahweh, you know, and they can stand before the Most High because they got their frequency in tune.
That's right. Right on point.
And you got the crown for like a king. You know what I'm saying? The kings wear the crown, which is like an ephod for the head.
Right. Yes.
With
exactly.
the jewels and the rupees and stuff going around the head.
if you look at a crown, right? If you look at a crown, it's gold, but it represents, because if you look at the shape of a crown, it's really the shin. You know, the Hebrew word, and it's fire, and it's actually fire.
Yeah.
So it's fire is above. You know what I'm saying? So, and what they did was the gold represents like the sun. He's the enlightened one with fire around his crown, and that's a manifestation of Yah, and it's also a Hebrew word in there too. Shah. You see, it's upside down like this.
You get a lot of in like the, you know what I'm saying, gang affiliation with the folk stuff with that, with the pitchfork. It's almost like the pitchfork,
right?
Because they actually studied the scriptures as well. I don't know if you mess with that at all. I definitely come from that background with Insane Gangster Disciples and some of the cryptic gang affiliated biblical stuff as well. Yeah,
I have family that was involved in most of this was started by old Simeon and that's why they wear the Star of David. A lot of them don't even know why they wear the Star of David. They follow that. Yeah, right.
Now, what do you think about the Star of David? Because I mean, when you do your research, there's like proof for like it being a beautiful magical symbol, and then there's other, like when you go really deep, as it being some type of like marked sacrifice for, like, you know what I'm saying, Moloch and stuff. Where do you stand with the
definitely it's definitely Moloch. It's definitely it was definitely adopted. You know, you don't have to wear it to be spiritual, but it's definitely a symbol from Moloch.
Yeah, they say it gets deep when you look at all the old pictures of the Holocaust, and they had all the children and all the Jews, the Jewish people, we'll say that. They had them wear the Star of David, the yellow star, and they were just like marking them for a sacrifice, as the word Holocaust meaning burnt offering, that they would burn them and they would put that yellow star on them and anoint them for Moloch. There's some deep stuff behind it.
Yeah.
Most people can't tell you where it comes from, and you know that. Most of the Israelites, like you just said, they have no idea. They can't give you a scripture. They don't know where it was adopted from. It was just given to them, kind of thing. That goes to my point with looking deep into stuff. Some people are scared, and I don't care if you're an Israelite, you just coming in, but the whole thing is to open. You have to be open up and seasoned to know some of these levels. You know, when you look at the star, because they think you gotta remember at the beginning he started out as Jacob the supplanter, but then he wrestled with an angel, and the angel turned him into a higher power. He became an El. His name changed into Israel. Let me hit you with this. Go ahead. Go ahead and finish your point.
Some cats are still in that Jacob state. That's that supplanting state, and they still wrestling to become into that L vibration. I mean
that's what we all. That's where we all wrestle with God anyway when we close our eyes, you know what I'm saying? And the pineal gland, like we're all wrestling with the Most High, you know?
Oh, funny thing.
Pineal.
You know the name? Yeah.
Pineal, boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Where Jacob wrestles with God, he named the place Pineal or pineal gland. Yes. That's where we wrestle with God.
That's right.
In the mind's eye.
In the mind. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And it's going up and down, and he's trying to become higher. And it's, he's wrestling with himself, become on a higher level. See, I like that, because when you look at it on an esoteric level like that, then it makes more sense. It's just like we know that H2O on the periodic table is more than what you just look at.
Mm-hmm.
It's symbols in there, because you can say 2 hydrogens, 2 oxygens, right? And that's what H2O. What's the symbol for H2O? Water. And that's how the scriptures are read. And a lot of cats don't catch on to that, especially Christians.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So
they say no. I want to take it face literal. I want to take it.
I mean, I like that too, to an extent, but you're gonna run into problems with that. real quick. I think the ancient Jews or the Jewish mystics, the Hebraic mystics, believed in like 4 ways of breaking it down, with like the physical and like the literal, the spiritual or the esoteric, and the metaphysical, and then the allegorical, which is definitely
Right.
what's near and dear to my heart. Like the allegories, like when I read the scriptures and I read about King David, like I'm reading about myself. Like I'm reading about the way I wrestle with God and my enemies that come against me and my, vices and things like that. The way that he overcame and his giants that stood up and mocked him and mocked his God and mocked his destiny and all that stuff. I can't help but like, as I'm illuminated with the Holy Spirit, as the scripture says, you have to be illuminated to even understand the book, to even get that level. I don't think that everybody can get that. You have to have the spiritual connection in order to even understand what that's talking about.
Indeed, I agree. I agree 100%. 120%, 150. Word. So vibrations are just lighten up at that point,
We
The
mentioned
add-on.
the gods, bro. And I'm real big on the divine counsel of the Elohim. You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Psalm 82, and Michael Heiser's done a lot of work on the divine counsel and bringing that even to a Christian audience, honestly.
Right.
And so
Who's done work on it?
Michael Heiser.
Okay, I gotta
Michael
check him out.
Heiser is like the big name right now in the Christian realm of doing the study on the divine counsel. He's got so much work. He actually created a website called SitchinIsWrong.com. So it was to
Okay.
like undo the work of Zechariah Sitchin and kind of like show you like where he went wrong and where he messed up. So, but honestly, the truth is in the middle of both of those guys as far as their debate is concerned. The truth is in the middle, I think. But
Yeah.
this idea that
Sit-
we have gods that are over different nations, what I'm saying, Ashtaroth and Moloch and Baal and these other entities and stuff that were over different nations at one time, and then they received worship unto themselves, and then they fell like men, which is the idea of the divine counsel. And then Jesus stands into this group of Israelites and says that, doesn't it say in your scriptures that ye are all gods? Most of us, even like in the woke Christian circles and esoteric stuff, we're really into the divine counsel stuff, these angels and these beings that are govern the universe and stuff. But I'm just now, as I'm doing a little bit more research, and even people were bringing this divine counsel stuff, some of it sounds like these were just Israelites who like lived a really long time and they were almost like gods on the earth. And I know there's this expression of greeting, one another as calling each other gods and stuff like that. Like I almost feel like the divine council were like literal people who were anointed by God back in those days to establish a covenant, maybe had supernatural powers, things like that. Have you done any research into that versus like it's these supernatural beings versus these were regular like Israelites, or even Jacob or Noah and these guys were these type of gods or whatever?
Um, let me see. Yeah, well, their names, some of them have like Daniel. Daniel have the name L in
Yeah.
his name, Daniel, and
Jacob
uh,
was turned into that. Jacob was turned
he
into that,
turned
right?
he turned into a L. Yeah, he
Yeah.
turned into the L. The L was definitely worshipped in Canaan. And when you go way back, you know what I'm saying? So the L is the god of overall, you know what I'm saying? So that was the name. If you go into the Hebrew words, you can hear it even in the first Aleph, in the
Yeah.
first alphabet, or what they would say or Aleph. You see
Left
the L. That's
Lef. Yeah. L.
that's all. When you look at it, it's all. You know what I mean? If you look at the word, it's just all, and that's the first alphabet of the 22 alphabets in Hebrew. And starting with that's truly the beginning, is always L. And men could definitely become L's because Adam was an L too.
Yeah.
If you go back to it, who was his mother and father? A
Adam.
lot of people don't really, yeah.
Who would you say was his mother and father?
See, Adam, I mean, that goes deeper.
Adawam.
Yeah,
Adawam.
yeah, yeah, from the earth, Well, as the story goes,
Ruddy.
he has. Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. We has the same as a story told, without going too deep into it. He has the same beginning as Yahusha. You know what I mean? Christ, and he has
Exactly.
no God is his father. He's the first one. You know, and he uh he died because of a tree. Esoterically, he ate from the tree, and then his counterpart was a Christ was crucified on the tree. So these things all synchronized. Synchronicity comes into play when you look at the because even Christ being crucified on the tree. Now he was a carpenter, right?
Yeah.
How funny is that? He's a carpenter and he got crucified by the nail and the hammer. You know, I'm saying a lot of things you could just look at and they just
Yeah,
add
there's
up.
so many. There's so many there.
Yeah. And so the tree just came back, and he just came back. But that's a man becoming an L.
So so there's something else that opens up as well with the divine counsel stuff. Again, this becoming God, or even Christ became the Christ. Like he wasn't the Christ from birth, but his type of walk like christened him. And when he ran into John, he was christened
John was the man.
as the Christ. You know, there's a lot of people who believe that.
Yeah, nobody even know who Christ was. John was the man. John the Baptist. John was he was part of the Essenes, the mystic order of the Essenes, right?
Ate locusts and honey for his diet.
Yeah. John is that cat. That's the one they wanted the head on the platter. So John was really heavy, and he had to introduce Christ. No one knew who that was. You know what I mean? They knew John for years. You know what I'm saying? So John was putting in that work, that heavy work, and he introduced Christ, and and we can go deeper. I know I could talk like this with you.
Yeah.
And he introduced Christ into the mystic order of the Essenes, which you know, that goes deeper than just regular Israelites and just learners of the law. These cats were they were dealing with so he introduced them into the deepest shrines of the higher up.
Well, Christ was taught even as a child in like Egyptian magic as well, right? And when he was swept away as a child to Egypt.
Yeah,
and that's the one thing that all these other prophets and holy men had in common is they were all trained in the ways of the Egyptian. And we see Jesus like being swept away as a baby. They were looking to kill him. He comes back at the age 13, and he's coming back. He's teaching everyone in the temple. You know, he's you know what I'm saying, breaking down this esoteric wisdom that he learned in Egypt.
Right. And a lot of that stuff, like the double crown and stuff, because you got to remember that's true. Because and sisters, they get upset with Egypt, but Egypt, it starts with Egypt.
Yeah.
But inside of Egypt, you had because we're not going to look at Egypt how Alexander the Great looked at Egypt. Alexander the Greek, I was just calling that
the creep.
Yeah, exactly. Alexander the Greek, because he saw it when by the time he got it, it was almost done, almost like basically, and he didn't know about the great other African kings that were rulers that were in Egypt, like Nubian. You know, all of the pharaohs wasn't just Egypt. So they brought a lot, like the double crown. They brought a lot of their influence inside of Egypt. So Egypt was a school of knowledge of great African kingdoms, a lot of them. You know what I mean? The Hyksos, and you could go into stuff like that. So yes, of course, Hebrew came in there, and they were taking all of this knowledge in. They was learning so much from so many cultures that were there at that time, and they engulfed all of the serpent. You have a lot of stuff, turning the serpent into a staff, and vice versa, and stuff like that. So it was a lot.
Things when I was on my Israelite tip real hard and you know, pretty much running with the Hebrew Israelites, that really changed me when I was doing my studying, was seeing like studying Egypt, and then shout out to Jordan Maxwell, the work that he brought with like doing the work with Peter Joseph and Zeitgeist and all that kind of stuff that really shook things up, but made you really, really dig deep. looking at Egypt and how the Hebrews stole most of their iconography, belief systems, 48 laws of Ma'at. Like they stole so much from Egypt, and the whole thing with the Hebrew Israelites, or even somebody trying to get back to the original religion of the people. You look at the Hebrew customs and you think that that's the original, but they stole. They brought so much with them. The iconography, the what is it? The angel for the Ark of the Covenant with the two wings that are draped over, touching one another, and like they stole so much of the way that they build their architecture and their buildings and everything. So much from Egypt for us just to say that, Egypt was demonic or something that we're not supposed to look into or something,
Well, if you spend 400 years there, think about it. The Hebrews spent 400 years in there. So a lot of the customs that they took on were definitely there. And you got to remember, they were mistaken as Egypt. Well, they were Egyptians themselves. When they were walking out of who was it? I think it was Jacob that passed away, and the Canaanites saw them. You probably know that scripture. And they said, look at the Egyptians. They're mourning. Yeah, put Jacob death. And they were walking, and and it was a number of Hebrews and with the Egyptians.
Yeah,
and they just called them all. Yeah,
mixed multitude is what it says.
Yeah,
that's the word that's used. A mixed multitude that came out. So it wasn't just when they left. Even when they left Egypt, it wasn't just Hebrews that left Egypt. A mixed multitudes of Egyptians as well, and probably other nations as well that were there.
Cadians, Nubians, a lot in it. And you got to look at it like this, because I saw a movie a while ago when the Epic of Gilgamesh, right? Because they were in ancient, I think it was Harad, one of them, and they were talking about the Epic of Gilgamesh, and this is during the time of Egypt. You got to remember, those books were still existing. They just changed the name, but they knew that they still exist. The Epic of Gilgamesh, and then when you go into the Akkadian, the god names changed, but it was the same god deities. They was just taking them and changing their names back then. And these books were running rapid through there. And Moses saw that. You see, Moses seen it, Abraham seen it, all of them seen it back then. It was no hate like what brothers have. It was just a sharing of great knowledge.
Yeah,
I don't even know if they may have stole it. I was going to say probably they just were influenced by it.
Yeah.
Definitely influenced by it.
Talk a little bit about the tea, man. What is it, the matcha tea you said? I know you're really big on your teas right now.
Yeah, man. This right here I'm doing is turmeric. And usually I do matcha. I have my matcha stick, but I don't have no matcha. So I do it with the same process with the turmeric. So this is just turmeric and cinnamon. I had to make my own tea, my herbal tea right now, because I left it. But it's going real good, man. I'm planning on putting my own flavor out there coming up soon. And matcha is Japanese green tea. And it's the whole leaf. It's very good for you. It's very good for antioxidant and losing weight and cleansing your blood system. So I started getting on that when I started to get back into my health and stuff. I let myself go for a minute. And I said, man, Priest, you got to stop living so good, man. It's time to get back to your temple, taking care of your temple, especially, start doing music again. And, everybody's in the house. No going out anyway, so it's time to get back serious. And I've been real focused on just getting back or getting further than where I was before.
That's what's up. Yeah, I think we all need to take a lesson in that. I fluctuate so much, dude. Like, I get on my health kick, and I feel so good when I'm on that health kick, bro. Like, man. I let myself go, and I just get depressed and get fat,
Yeah, man. You in Alabama, man. I love it out there.
We're eating good, dog. I can tell you what we ate Sunday morning, dude. We have something
Tell
called
me about it.
Breakfast Gumbo. It's a little gas station over here because they serve breakfast gumbo. It's from New Orleans. The owner's from New Orleans. But, I mean, it's literally got every type of breakfast sausage, Kaneka sausage, bacon, freaking Jimmy Dean. It's got
Wow.
hot sauce, grits, eggs, cheese. I mean, it's everything mixed together, and it's like it's insane. It's really good, but it's definitely not good for you. We eat good, man. That's the thing. That's all I do. People come visit. We take them out to go eat Mexican.
That's mojito. Yeah.
We go eat Mexican food, bro.
He knows. Oh yeah. Oh, I love tacos, man.
Yeah.
Love tacos. I
That's
love
all
tacos.
we do. And,
yeah. Alabama, man. Yeah, it's heavy stuff, man. Heavy stuff. So yeah, I'm getting on this tea. When I start drinking my tea, I get laid back and smooth.
Got a comment here from Kai Ray Dawson. Says, "This is epic. Nice work, TruthSeekah. I listen to Killah Priest religiously. You like my lyrical pastor. This is my lyrical priest." Man,
that's dope, bro.
For sure.
We gotta do something together.
Yeah, man. Let me know what we got to do, bro, and spark that flame for sure. We got to make it happen. Whatever we got to do. Reached out to you, bro. Like, shoot, man, this had to be 2016 or so to try to get you on a feature. And we was like almost there. It was going through Facebook, and like you were on one day and off for 10. Like,
yeah,
not
man.
taking the messages and stuff. We tried to make something happen with you back in the day, but we definitely need to do something for sure, bro. Put it in the books.
Yeah, man. I'm very excited about the next album coming out right after Rocket to Nebula. Divine Intervention to be out the 8th of this month. You know what I mean? It's technically December, right? December 8th.
Warlocks and witch elves with the power to switch realms. I love that lyric, dog.
Oh man, I don't even. Where was that from?
Man, that was from the. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It all. For me, it all.
Is that
it all flows together.
That from If that's from Psychic World?
No, it's after the one after.
Oh, Planet of Gods. Planet of the Gods.
I believe so. Yeah, Warlock and the witch elves with the power to switch realms. Got.
Oh yeah. You talk about. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. I know which one. Yeah. No doubt.
I know we talked about it a little bit, and it's really hard to kind of pinpoint. But man, where do the lyrics come from, man? A little bit of everywhere, just inspiration, like it's hard to pinpoint. Studying, and then just rhymes that just play over and over in your head. A little bit of everything, or what?
It comes from the night. My best time to write is late at night now. So. Just reaching down inside. Things maybe things of the past, things of the past, things you experience. Sometimes you're a writer yourself. You experience things through other people's eyes too, and you can you're able to channel.
Yeah,
That's
what I was going to ask you. That's what people like to hear. Did you channel this information? But a part of that's taking the credit away from your mind, though, or even maybe this place of the mind that you've created that you go to channel, Oh
man, sometimes I think my mind is outside of my brain, outside of my head. I'm inside of my mind, but outside of my brain.
It's just like that lyric that I just mentioned. Like you were kind of like baffled of like almost forgot about it kind of thing.
Yeah, sometimes it does trip me out. Me
too.
Locked in the zone. Yeah, just locked in the zone. I mean, it's lyrics, bro. Sometimes I'll be tripping out. You already know. You write some stuff and then you be like, "Whoa, I said that."
Especially a year later when you're going through a bunch of BS or you don't feel as spiritual or as connected, and then you put on your old tunes and you're like, "Who the hell is that?"
Yeah. Well, it's like it's channels, like turning channels on the TV. Different. Each channel is a different emotion, and that's how the creativity comes.
For sure. I'm gonna see who we got here in the chat. There's some people had a couple questions. Let's see if Chris is ready to come on. Chris, if you have a question for Killah Priest or myself, go ahead and unmute yourself and start your video back as well. Chris, what up, man? Welcome to the show, bro. How are you?
Hey, what's up? Great, doing great. Just glad to be able to say hello. I just want to say hello and been listening to, you talked about the Jizza album. I had that album when it came out, and I've been familiar with your work for 25 years now, almost.
Man.
So I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate it, and look forward to the new stuff. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say.
Man, you said it.
God bless, and thank you very much.
Man, Elohim, bro.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. All peace. All right. Thank you for that. Bless you
Yeah,
too,
thank
bro.
you. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you.
Zachary Thompson's here in chat and says, "Changed my effing life. Your music." How deep is that when people say that you change their life through your rhymes and bringing this stuff out?
It's an incredible feeling and an accomplishment. I didn't know that so many people could feel what I felt when I was creating it. When it was happening, and just that is a gift of itself. It's overwhelming, and it's definitely heartfelt and appreciated. Make me want to cry. Cry me a river.
People feel it, man.
Yeah.
Chris, any questions before I let you go here for Priest?
Yeah, AD.
Oh no, that's good. Let someone else get a shot in.
Not T.
That's I'm just thankful you let me on to say hello. So I appreciate
Man,
it.
where you at, bro?
I'm out in the fields of Indiana.
Ooh, Colts. I love it.
Oh man,
Let's go Colts, man. They doing good too. For Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I was curious to see. I was
Mm-hmm.
curious to see how he would do, and he's doing all right. He's doing all right.
Yeah. Let's go Colts. Yeah.
Are you out in New York? You Giants or like what?
Mostly Giants. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was in New York, Giants. That's the number one.
Yep.
Yeah.
G-man.
Yep, the G-men. They're not doing too good. They're all tore from the floor. I'm a team. I like the player, so I follow players.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right now, Mahomes killing it.
Oh my goodness, you ain't kidding.
He's off the hook.
I mean, it's fun. That's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, Chris, thanks for coming on, bro. Love you, man. Much love.
Yo, thank you, Chris.
Yeah, I love you guys.
Yo,
thank you.
Shout
love
out
you guys.
to Indiana.
Thank you so much.
No doubt.
Shalom. Now we got Christy Johnson. Christy, let's see. You got a question for Killah Priest? I know you come with some awesome answers. I know, and I already know what you're going to ask. You're going to talk about angels and aliens. I already know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hi, Killah Priest. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I was just going to ask you like a general question. What advice would you give a person who is coming out of religion and stepping into the spiritual pineal gland, third eye world realm, but not having them go so far off into like a rabbit hole? Like, what advice would you give that person? You understand my question?
Yes.
Okay.
Take your time and do it right. Take your time. Take baby steps. You're in the right direction. You're in the right direction. Take your time and just take baby steps, and it'll all come to you. As you go into it, it'll become closer to you, and you'll start getting it.
Understood.
Yeah. Just take your time. Well, I love your accent. Where you from?
I'm from Tennessee. I was
love it. Home of music. Tennessee. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's peace. Yeah, I would just take baby steps and just keep doing. I mean, just a little bit here, a little bit there.
Right. Understood. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Here a little, there a little. Thanks, Christy.
Thank you, guys. See you later.
Soon.
All right.
Many blessings. Yes, sir. Yeah, y'all got to do the chat feature on the podcast, man. But I know that I feel like we have an overlap You got some interesting audience over there, man, on the Killah Priest podcast. Like they'll go in on you quick. Like the trolls will come out quick. I found that out last time on the show.
Yo, it's the craft. It's called the Craftsmen and the Rocketeers, man. It's two sections of them. I don't know which one is the most off hook, but they are trippy, man. And they're very enlightening and woke, and you'll love them, man, because they go in. It's like any subject we talk about, they're on it. They get the scriptures. They get the They'll go to the Unreleased. They'll go to the anything, sky gods, anything. And I'm like, wow, man, how y'all know about the Canaanite deities? And they be like, and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do. I mean, when I was going through my awakening and having these crazy experiences, I called in the podcast, man. I listened to podcasts, and I would hope that they would give a phone number out. And most of these podcasts was a lot of like people like who was into the comedic philosophies and stuff, but they're talking about like how to like instantly leave your body by tapping into breath work and turning your body into a Merkaba and translocation, bilocation and all that. And I was like, man, when they open up the phone lines, I was calling in, so I want to try to pay that forward, and try to be that voice or have that opportunity for people to kind of call in. And, going back to it, I remember listening, like my door into the esoteric and mysticism with hip hop was LCOB. Rasul Allah, and I remember seeing him on a podcast, and I was like, it was a live podcast, and they were opening up the phone lines, and I called in. I was like, hey man, can you tell me about meditation? Can you tell me about like your technique and all this kind of stuff, and just picking his brain and stuff. So shout out to Rasul Allah, mutual friend, and definitely
shout out to Rasul.
You know what I'm saying? Hooked us up for sure. So shout out to him. We need to do like a 3-way episode too, have everybody on together. That'd be dope.
Yeah, Rasul's funny, man.
Yeah,
he goes. He's real passionate.
Yeah, LCOB goes deep, bro. They go hard for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. They've been with us for a very long time, man. Since the Genesis. But my thing is always, as long as you see Egypt out of your own mind's eye, and not because a lot of people who's Kemet, right, who follow Kemet, they view Egypt through Alexander the Creep. You can't see it from there. Because he came in way late, and you got to see it from how they seen it and how the other kingdoms that they were dealing with at that time see it. So.
Well, that's the thing.
Once you get on that, when you get on that path, that's the right path.
Yeah. You start studying Egyptian magic, and you start studying some of the things that they were doing, and
you on point, man. This guy, you on point, bro.
One of the things that actually messes it up from the Christian perspective of which is my background, is they translate Egypt, which in the scriptures for the most part it translates to the land of bondage, because the Hebrews were in bondage while they were in Egypt. So from this Western Christian, philosophical, evangelical breakdown, which has even gotten into the Hebrew Israelites, anytime we mention Egypt, it means land of bondage when you were a slave to your sinful desires or that those kind of things. And so you got to transcend that. You got to get past that.
That's right. That's a Greek word, and you can't even talk to them about that. See, Egypt, they never call themselves Egypt. The Greeks called them Egyptians, And once they get past that, and they find out what they really called, what they call themselves, and in the scriptures we know them as Mizraim, right? Mm-hmm. Menace, but the Christians they close off, and they are not. They don't want to expand and go into the real meaning of things and really read the book. John 3:16.
Which is good. Listen, hey, John, amazing verse. A good one to get started on.
Not knocking them. It's just just read a little bit more. That's all.
Read the rest of it, So, while we're still talking about Egypt and stuff, what about the Order of the Jedi? and where that comes from, even that name, I'm sure you know where that comes from, right? The Order of the Jedi, like George Lucas and Star Wars and the Jedi, these Jedi masters who are trained in like meditation and focusing the mind and magic and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Knowing where that comes from, right?
Yeah.
The Jedi priest of Egypt, the Jedi.
Okay. Yeah, I like that, bro. Yeah, the Jedi priest of Egypt, the Jedi. Okay, they were
DJEDI, DJEDI, the Jedi.
Yeah, we're gonna look
priest
that up.
of Egypt.
Yeah, I heard of it. Yeah, the Jedi. It sounds like that too. They, brothers would say that's Judah. Jedi comes from Judah too, because Yoda is Yuda, right?
Yahuda, yeah.
Yeah. So Yoda is going into that type of science. Yeah. George Lucas Skywalker is Shemitic. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you talking about being advanced on all the esoteric mysticism. Here's the thing, Priest.
All of them.
When we talk about these guys in Hollywood, right? There's this thing of like, are they studied in on this stuff? Because we can look at Michael Bay, we can look at Transformers. The first and second Transformers was about these demonic entity type creatures that were enslaved at the bottom of the pits of the earth, and they were in the bottom of the ocean and in volcanoes, but they were these alien beings that were in chains of bondage, and then they were let loose to come back and torment the earth again and freely reign. That script comes right out of the Book of Enoch, right? So are these writers and producers, are they trained in this esoteric understanding, or is it something that through consciousness, through God consciousness, that just these stories just keep coming out and coming over and over and over? Using that as an example, using George Lucas, and which obviously, you know what I'm saying, George Lucas was definitely influenced by Joseph Campbell, with the hero's journey, of this journey that the hero goes through and then resurrects and owns his true power, which is the story of Christ, which is our story as well. But is it something that you think these people are studied on, or is it just like they're picking up on these conscious vibes and these stories are just in the minds and the atmosphere for whoever will listen and retell those stories?
Definitely they studied it. They have, the Illuminati owns Hollywood. They definitely had these, they have all type of scholars that show them these things. Because even if you look at the movie Exorcist, I'm looking at the movie Exorcist. Have you saw that? I'm looking at the movie Exorcist when I started really getting into the Sumerians and ancient gods and stuff. I'm looking at it, and in the beginning, they're talking about they in Iraq. It begins with Sumer, and there's a demon in there. I don't know if it's
Payamon, I believe it is.
Right.
No.
Right.
Pazuzu.
Yeah, pull up Pazuzu.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, wait a minute, hold on. This is nothing to do with Catholic.
Yeah.
So of course they know. And if you check out the movie Fourth Kind, all of the aliens were who? The Anunnakis. All of them. And they spoke straight in cuneiform. They spoke in Sumerian language. And I was like, wait a minute, hold up. I think there was like, I wish we could pull up a part like that. We're gonna say that for my podcast, so we can pull up a part. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Check out the Fourth Kind. Do you remember when she elevated off the ground and stuff like that? It was all about the and then they showed the owls and everything, and then all seeing a Moloch, and all of the aliens were Anunnakis, and then they went to the psychiatrist, and I said, these Hollywood cats. Got to remember, in the last days, well, in these times, it's been the last day for a long time. People get that misconstrued. You know what I mean? It's been the last days for a very long time. They think we're
stepping into it on 2020.
Nah, it's been the last days. You know, a day with the Lord is 1,000 years.
Yep. And we're day number 2.
Day number 2, yo. Second day. Headed to the weekend. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at all of these things, yes, they are studying. They got soothsayers, and they did it way back then. Pharaoh sat on a he had priests that were around him. You got to remember, they're making wonders and signs. Movies are actors. It's not real, but it's real in your imagination. They're able to project, and that's what it is, a film projector. If you look at it, they're projecting an image of what they want to be. They're
creating
even
it.
when you're a kid and you're looking at a gigantic poster, it's the same as walking in ancient Greece and seeing the gods around the
That's dope as hell.
Colosseum.
That's it.
7.
That's your gods. You look up to these. You want to be just like them.
That's right.
Michael Jordan.
That's right. That's right.
Michael Jackson.
They're big. Yeah, exactly. The
stars are falling. And they talk about in Babylon, like in the end, the stars would fall from the sky. And we look at our stars that they like. They never let these stars die gracefully. The stars they fall from their grace when they die.
Yeah. Well, they're sacrificed. And then for the greater gods. I mean, it doesn't stop. And if you look at the way they do you, I mean, they take you to the top, and they do it to a lot of beautiful women. You know, Katy Perry
and what was her name? Marilyn Manson's wife at the time. Man, she's shot out, dude. What is her name? Who was Marilyn Manson married to? She's like leading up the Me Too movement. I know, AD. Come on, help me, bro. I hear you in the background somewhere. Rose McGowan.
There you go. All of them, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. We look at them.
What about? We're talking about those old movies. Poltergeist. Have you heard the story about the little girl? And AD, if you want to chime in, bro, feel free. The little girl from Poltergeist. They talk about how like she was like sacrificed and stuff. That little girl, Carol Ann. They talk about how.
Oh, she really passed away?
Yeah, she passed away. Most of the people passed away from that movie, though. There was like a bunch of deaths and stuff on the They say that it was shot on an Indian burial ground.
Yeah,
it was shot on an Indian burial ground, and a bunch of people that were a part of the production ended up dying because of that.
Sacrifice. You can't play with that side. Can't play with that side and not be prepared.
Have you played with it and not been prepared? Because I have.
What you talking about? The dark side?
Yeah. Ouija boards, contacting deceased relatives.
I can't say I have. I'm trying to see which way I have, but I can't say that I sat down. I know you in the South. In the South, it gets hard. I used to be in the South too, and I know how it gets in the South, yo. It gets out. It rains on one side of the block, and on the other side it be regular.
It's dark.
Yeah.
I mean, I was born in New Orleans, and my parents were burning candles. I mean, they're doing voodoo they're having like block parties and having like strangers all in the house, and
man,
just wild stuff going on for sure. So I got involved with that at a young age. One thing dope. I wanted to mention to you while we were on the subject of Hollywood and Steven Spielberg and those things is he definitely brought a lot of esoteric knowledge to the forefront, a lot of UFO knowledge as well. Cocoon, the movie Cocoon, the beautiful UFO movie. E.T. You know, I told you I had the mom from E.T. on my podcast, which you should try to get her on as well on yours. But
yeah, come on, let's do it.
Supposedly, this is rumor. I asked Dee Wallace about this, the mom from E.T. She denied it, but I don't know if she knew. But supposedly, Steven Spielberg, as a hobby, collects alien abduction artifacts out of people. Like when people go to the doctor and they extract little like art, like, you know what I'm saying, metal artifacts out of them where they're like implants, alien implants, that Steven Spielberg pays for them and buys them from people and has a collection of alien implants. It's a rumor. Don't know if it's true. Heard it. Pretty interesting either way.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Michael Jackson had the elephant monkey. But he had the elephant bones in his crib.
You familiar with Craig G. Lewis?
Nah.
Craig G. Lewis he's a Christian minister that would like expose a lot of the deep dark stuff in the hip hop, and in pop culture. But he had this segment on Michael Jackson that talked about how he had these interviews and these clips that Michael Jackson had a room of mirrors, a little room with mirrors, and that he would go and he would sit in the middle of this room of mirrors and he'd meditate and he would commune with the spirit of Liberace to get his lyrics. That Liberace was writing songs through him in his room of mirrors, and supposedly you're getting a message of that through I'm talking to the man in the mirror. This conversation he's having with Liberace in the mirror.
Dang, Mike.
Talk about he was infatuated with sleeping. Like Mike hated reality. Mike was about the dream realm. I mean, in his music videos, he brought the dream realm to us. But they're talking about they did the research and looked at the iconography and a lot of his artwork, and I forgot the name of the god, but there was the god of the dream realm that he would go to sleep and wake up with lyrics that he got from the dream world, and he was supposedly communing with the god of the sleep state, and put all the iconography and all types of wild stuff. Craig G. Lewis went deep on Michael Jackson for sure.
That's not kind of hard because I've been in that realm. I've been in that realm before.
I fight with it myself.
Yeah. Could you pull up the lyrics, AD, for Another Part of Me? Let's read a little bit of that. Just Another Part of Me by Michael Jackson. I just want to read the first because just to add on to what you were saying.
Well, that's how he died. He was being prescribed all of these drugs that would keep him asleep and keep him numb. You know?
Yes.
And he overdosed.
Yeah. Just the lyrics. Right there. They're right under it. Yeah. Well, yeah, it says he says, we're taking over. We have the truth.
Yes.
This is the mission to see it through. Don't point your finger, not dangerous. This is our planet. You're one of us. What in the spin moves are he talking about right there? Michael Jackson's split. Yo, we're sending out major love. This is our message to you. The planets are lining up. We're bringing brighter days. They're all in a line waiting for you. Can't you see? It's just another part of me. Wow. So he was up in that universe.
Yes.
Whew, that's one of the hardest verses. I was like, what? He was in the zone.
And he featured that in Captain EO at Disneyland.
Yes, dude. When I was going through my awakening, we went to Disneyland and I watched Captain EO, and I'm sitting there crying balls at Disneyland watching Captain EO.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
so
impactful.
Beautiful, the magic. I'm like, where did this come from?
In 3D.
Wonderment.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wonderment.
In 3D. A lot of messages there.
Yeah.
And the way it defines evil. The evil woman.
Yeah.
With her claws.
Yeah.
Oh, so well done.
Yeah. Everybody tell me I never went to go see it, AD, but that's crazy. Yo, that's a really spiritual level you went to, Cosmic.
Listen, watch Craig G. Lewis. Now, he puts a demonic spin on it, just to let you know.
Could you put up Craig G. and
Craig G. Lewis, Michael Jackson? It's something about the gods.
We got to make a folder,
Nephilim.
AD.
The Nephilim.
AD, we got, of all these names, just make a folder and throw them up there.
Michael Heiser, Craig G. Lewis. Those are the two I dropped.
Yeah. Man, I feel so good, bro. I'm losing weight and everything, man. That's crazy. Looking better on the screen now. I'm like, yo, who's that good? That new guy out there, Priest? All right. I'm gonna check him out.
When he got the Beatles anthology.
Oh, then he real big into the Beatles.
So he could channel Alice.
So let me say this before we even go further. So the Beatles.
Yeah.
You already know where I'm going, right?
Yes, sir.
Going to
My
that
wife
Scarab.
is diehard Beatles.
Yeah. So they were the biggest group. That's the Scarab. When you're dealing with the Egypt, we're going right back into Egypt. The biggest group was the Scarab and Beatles. That's what the Pharaoh used to wear. They were big, and the AD broke down rock and roll. So the Beatles was the ornament that the pharaohs wore.
The dung beetle.
All of a sudden, yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, that's the biggest group ever. Michael Jackson, which is Michael, had an L on the back of his name. After that, we can go into Jordan too, the Jordan River, and he paid for the bulls. The bull being the first god of Akkad, the Sumerian god was the bull, and he was the biggest basketball player ever at that time. In the 80s, these are after the seventh seal, and the doors had opened up. Oh man, we going in there. We going in. We going in.
I don't talk much about this, but I'm ready to. Let's go.
Man,
I try not to scare people, but let's give it to them.
I mean,
it's knowledge. It is what it is. You do with it whatever. You feel
Some
me?
people get scared. They be like, "Yo, man, what are they building on?" Well, we just building on conversations that are happening while y'all sleep, while the people sleep. The land of the blind, and one eye is what?
God.
Yeah.
King.
That's right. The land of the blind, and one eye is king. So all we need is a squint, and that one eye is here.
You mentioned Yoda a while ago, right? We're going to the Yoda stuff. I love Yoda. Baby Yoda. You feel me? Baby Yoda. Everybody loves Baby Yoda right now.
Yehuda or Yahweh or the you.
I know that's where we go with it, right? The beauty, the light, the knowledge. But there's a lot of people who go dark with Yoda and say that Yoda was a demon as well. I forgot where they go.
I agree.
If you know anything about the demon, they say Yoda is a demon. Yod Hey Vav Hey. Yod Hey Vav Hey. Yoda is like a demon or something like that. I don't know if you heard that, but there's some people who believe that. Yoda was a demon from the Freemasons that Star Wars summoned, and there's a picture. I know it's definitely in the Secret Teachings of All Ages, but you probably remember this picture. It's a priest who is summoning a Watcher type demon, and it looks just like Yoda. So there's a picture. It's a painting of a priest, a magi, standing in a sacred circle, summoning an entity that looks just like Yoda, and they say that is the entity from Freemasonry. And I'll just share it real briefly while people are watching here. Let's see.
Now, isn't it interesting that we now have the Mandalorian, which is bringing back Baby Yoda, which technically is not Baby Yoda, but it's
Grogu.
Exactly.
Which is amazing show. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here's the picture I have pulled up on the screen for those who are watching. If you're listening to the audio, and just Google it, and you can check it out. Well, yeah, interesting nonetheless. I think that there's light and dark and everything though. Like you have to pick and choose what version you want to see of a person. I think even as we look at Killah Priest, there's people who can look at you and see some of the negative things within your music or some of the philosophies you believe in that are not of God or whatever you want to say, and we can pick you apart and look at this and paint this picture of a negative person. But then someone else who has a pure eye, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, can look at you in the same light and see an angel that changed their life, as people are saying in the chat as well. So we all have that ability that whatever you look at, you have the ability to see the beauty or the negative aspect of it as well.
Well said. That was well said.
Yeah, my name is Killah Priest.
He goes out and kills priests.
It tells you. Yeah, exactly. It tells you in there. There's a light and a dark, and yin and yang, night and day.
And I know we're gonna do a simulcast. We're gonna go ahead and jump on your podcast here in a minute. There's one more question that I got here in the chat. If I can go back to it, somebody really wanted to know. A friend of mine wanted to know about. Let's see if we can find it. And the chat's going crazy here. But they're wanting to know about your ability or how much of the 5% doctrine or belief system that you had to memorize is the word that they use. How much of the 5% belief that you had to memorize is what they said.
Say it. Ask me one more time. Man.
I'm trying to find the actual question.
I just laughed off top.
Okay.
You have to memorize 120 lessons.
120 lessons. That's what they're asking.
Yeah. You got
how far did you go? And ask him how far he went memorizing the 5% lessons. This is from my brother, who's a pastor, a spiritual leader, Todd Wayne Benton. He's asking this.
I went all the way to 120, and then after that it's plus degrees. But you never begin it. My thing is, you never stop learning. Learning is infinite, and that's what drove me to different truths and different. See, mathematics is just a language your head is already. Mathematics is a language, and you could see mathematics in the Kabbalah, and you could see it in numerology. I mean, that's self-explanatory. You can see it in the Vedas, and you can see it in when I say the Kabbalah. You could break down the 22 alphabets and all that. So I went there. That's how I was, Pastor. Shout out to the pastor too. Yeah. Is he a pastor from the South?
Close enough for sure.
That's my favorites, yo.
Yeah,
favorite Southern.
Yeah, he's definitely one from the street and study a lot of that stuff too. Turn his life around.
Certain pastors I listen to.
He's a good dude for sure. Ty Wayne Benton's a good dude.
Tony Smith, I like a couple. The ones I like, they always, I like Tony Smith, man. Tony Smith, Gino, TJ,
Creflo.
I don't listen to him that much.
I don't either.
Yeah.
He's actually from West Virginia. Todd's he's still listening. He's from West Virginia.
I like TD Jakes because
he's an OG for sure.
Because of the word, it's certain things that you could tell. You know what I mean? Oh, these cats are on point. Whether cats say this and that about them, but it's certain cats that just have that. They just know how to wheel a word and will it.
Make you cry.
It's make you.
Well, that's
oh man, that guy's heavy. You can get jewels from everywhere, bro.
Yeah, man. Look, the gospel is so precious to me, bro. Like I still cry when somebody breaks the gospel down and how much that you're loved and God loves you and prepared a way for you, and you know what I'm saying. Like I don't care how deep.
What's your zodiac sign?
Huh?
What's your zodiac sign?
Capricorn.
Cap. Okay.
Creative for sure.
Yeah.
But when I still hear the gospel to this day, bro, like if somebody explains it in what I'm saying, in the right light, like it still breaks me, like hearing it for the first time. You know what I'm saying? So like my heart definitely goes out to TD Jakes and those people who still keep it real to the gospel and to the soul of man, the plight of man. You know what I'm saying? That no esoteric wisdom can really fulfill you is really that relationship with your creator. That really can't even be explained. We're even not even doing justice trying to explain most of this stuff anyway, but it is something to be experienced.
Man, you said it all.
Yo, with that, I'm going to say peace and shalom. If you guys want to catch the second half of this interview, we're going to jump on Killah Priest's channel. So just Google Killah Priest, look up his YouTube, and he's got a bunch of podcasts there. And we'll do part 2, the second half of this interview over there. Y'all catch us. And thanks for hanging out with me. Make sure you subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And I'll see you.